Welcome to my YouTube channel, where history's most captivating stories come to life. In 480 BCE, deep within the rugged mountain pass of Thermopylae, one of history's most legendary last stands took place. King Leonidas of Sparta, alongside 300 of his finest warriors, would etch their names into eternity. But this battle wasn't just about 300 Spartans. No, it was a coalition of over 7,000 Greeks standing against an immense Persian army led by the mighty King Xerxes. Today, we'll dive into the story of courage, sacrifice, and resistance in the face of impossible odds. Let's backtrack. Greece in the 5th century BCE was a collection of independent city-states, each with its own way of life. But when King Xerxes of Persia decided to expand his empire westward, these often feuding city-states realized they had a common enemy. Xerxes marched with an army believed to number over 100,000. Some say even 300,000, a force that dwarfed anything the Greeks could muster. At the heart of this resistance was Sparta, a city-state famed for its warriors. Spartans trained for combat from a young age, and their lives revolved around military discipline, honor, and duty. Leading them was King Leonidas, a warrior king whose courage would soon be tested against overwhelming odds. Realizing the Persians would march through the narrow mountain pass of Thermopylae to invade the heart of Greece, the Greek city-states united. Around 7,000 warriors from various regions of Greece gathered at this bottleneck. They knew their only hope was to hold the Persians here, at this narrow pass, where numbers would count for less. And then they arrived. The Persian army stretched across the horizon like a sea of warriors. Xerxes, seated on his golden throne, watched confidently as his troops approached. The Greeks were outnumbered, but they were ready to fight for their homeland. The battle began. On the first day, the Persians charged at the Greeks, but the narrow pass worked to the defenders' advantage. The Greeks, led by Leonidas, fought in tight formations called phalanxes. Shield to shield, spear to spear, they held the line. Time and time again, the Persians were repelled. Their sheer numbers couldn't break the disciplined Greek defense. Xerxes watched in frustration as his regular troops failed to break through the Greek lines. Furious, he ordered his elite troops, the Immortals, into battle. These were the best of the best in the Persian army, undefeated in combat. But even the Immortals, renowned for their strength and discipline, couldn't penetrate the Spartan lines. The Spartans, with their years of training and iron discipline, held fast. Leonidas and his men fought with the ferocity of warriors who knew they were protecting their very way of life. But then came betrayal. A local Greek named Ephialtes, driven by greed, revealed to Xerxes a hidden path around the mountains. This path would allow the Persians to flank the Greeks, trapping them from behind. At dawn, the Greeks learned they were surrounded. Leonidas dismissed most of the Greek troops, sending them back to fight another day. He and his 300 Spartans, along with a few hundred remaining allies, chose to stay and fight to the death. The final clash was brutal. The Spartans fought until their last breath, knowing there was no escape. Leonidas himself was slain, but his courage and the sacrifice of his men would echo through history. Though the battle was lost, the war was far from over. The Battle of Thermopylae was a defeat, but the courage of Leonidas and his men inspired all of Greece. Their sacrifice gave the other city-states time to unite and eventually defeat the Persians. Thermopylae became a symbol of defiance, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage can change the course of history. Thanks for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more legendary battles and moments from the past.